This video is about trying to bring out a particular emotional response from the viewers of your artwork. In this case, this is a painting that's based on the game Chrono Trigger, and there's a specific plot line with a character named Magus, however you say that, who is from a particular time, and he gets thrown out of time and misses his family, particularly his sister. So what I was trying to do with this painting is I was trying to evoke, kind of in myself, bring out, like, how do I feel about this particular plot line? And my intent was a viewer of this painting who is also a fan of the game would have a similar response. They would think, they would kind of experience it's melancholy, it's a little sad, that specific plot line. So that would bring some of that out. So that really got me thinking, though, like, how do you do that specifically? So just to back up a little bit, one of the most basic ways that you can do that is by painting a subject matter that your audience or your intended audience might care about. So in the case of portraiture, maybe it's someone that they love and care about, a close family member or something. Painting that person, especially if you knew that person and kind of knew what the distinguishing characteristics, or maybe you can bring out some specific traits that others might have loved about them. Like an example, you do a portrait of someone's son and you show how, like, a particular smirk, if you're able to convey kind of the, tilt of their eyebrow, or just a kind of look that other people might be familiar with. Again, a lot easier if you know them. Going beyond that, like, how do you, like, for a fantasy setting, like what I have on screen from this game, how do you build it composition-wise to try to evoke emotion? So in the case of this one, since this is a totally fabricated scene, this is not specifically from the game, I kind of constructed this to try to draw out the mood and vibe that I wanted. So basically what I did here is I tried to put the sister, Schala, and the, spoiler alert, this is a young version of the man on the left, tried to put them in the light. They're kind of in the window's light, kind of in view in that way. And then the real true subject of the painting, this Magus character to the left, who is looking on at his younger self and his sister who he misses, he is a little bit more in darkness, and he's got kind of this small light behind him. I thought that this would be a good way to evoke some of the mood and some of the vibe that you might want to draw out here. This relies heavily, though, on the viewer being familiar with the game, because if you aren't familiar with the characters and don't know the backstory, is this going to have the same impact? I think there is a certain mood to it, but definitely you're not going to be impacted in the same way. You're not going to feel maybe sadness from it. It might be kind of a moody vibe, but it's not gonna hit you the same way. So beyond that, I'm not really sure, like, if the subject matter, if your audience isn't familiar with it, I am just not skilled enough to know how to draw out strong emotion. Now, I've seen artists who can. There are, in particular, certain, like, highly regarded artists that will paint something that they are masterful at drawing a mood from what they have. I can't remember the name of the artist, but there's a lady laying in a field looking off in the distance at a farmhouse. I'll try to find it and pop it into the description, but this just evokes, like, this kind of loneliness that the artist just clearly is a master at drawing out. Even if you don't know anything else, background, drew that out. So I think composition is probably the biggest key. I know you can play around with light and color and things like that to try to draw out mood, but trying building out something, that's, I think, for the masters, maybe for the experts. I'm still working on it, but at least with this one, if you know Chrono Trigger, I think that this draws the right vibe. So kind of some interesting thoughts on that. If anyone has any comments or thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, thanks for watching. See you next time.